She doesn't yell, she doesn't beg, but every word she doesn't say carries 1,000 emotions. You see her smiling, functioning, even laughing. But deep down, something's off. A quiet distance, a softness that feels heavy. If you've ever had the feeling that a woman is hurting because of you, but she won't say it, you're not imagining it. I'm a psychology expert, and after years of studying silent emotional suffering in relationships, I can tell you, when a woman is silently suffering, the signs are subtle, but deeply real. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 powerful signs she's in pain because of you, and if you truly care, these may be the most important signs you ever learn to read. Sign 1, her eyes smile. Less often, her lips may still curve into a smile, but her eyes, they've grown quiet. You used to see light in them, laughter, curiosity, connection. Now they glance away quicker. They dim when you speak. As a psychologist, I've learned that eyes are emotional mirrors. When a woman is silently suffering, her soul retreats first, and it shows right there in her gaze. She may still be showing up, still cooking, texting, asking about your day, but those little flickers of joy in her expression, they've faded. This isn't about mood swings or bad days. It's about a woman slowly losing the emotional safety to be fully present with you. And her eyes are the first place that silence starts to speak. Sign 2. She avoids vulnerable conversations. She used to open up to you, her dreams, her fears, even her weird little thoughts at 2 a.m. But now when you ask how she's doing, she says, "I'm fine," and changes the subject. This isn't just about moodiness. This is emotional shutdown. When a woman silently suffers, one of the first things she does is build a wall, not to punish you, but to protect herself. Vulnerability feels too risky now. Maybe she's tried to express her pain before and felt dismissed. Maybe she thinks her feelings won't matter to you. So instead of opening up, she bottles everything. She pretends it's okay, but inside she's drowning in the words she can't say. Sign 3, over-apologizing. She says sorry even when she hasn't done anything wrong. Sorry I bothered you. Sorry for talking too much. Sorry I asked. At first it might seem polite, but listen closely. This isn't courtesy. It's a quiet cry for emotional permission. In psychology, we see this pattern often in women who feel like their presence is a burden. Somewhere deep down, she believes her feelings might push you away. So she shrinks. She apologizes for existing too loudly, for needing too much. But here's the truth. That constant apologizing isn't guilt. It's grief. The grief of loving someone while fearing she's slowly becoming invisible to them. Sign 4. She tries too hard to seem fine. She laughs a little too loud. She says, "Everything's great," with just a little too much energy. And if you look closely, it feels like she's performing happy instead of living it. When a woman is silently suffering, she often becomes a master at pretending. Why? Because breaking down feels unsafe. Because she's tired of feeling like her pain is too much. So she puts on the mask. She hides the cracks. She becomes the version of herself she thinks you want. But behind the forced cheer is a heart that's quietly exhausted. In therapy, we call this emotional suppression. It's one of the most dangerous forms of suffering because on the outside, everything seems okay, until one day, it's not. Sign 5, she pulls back. Emotionally, not physically. She's still there, still texting you good morning, still sitting beside you, still laughing at your jokes. But something's missing. You can feel it in the space between her words, in the way her smile doesn't quite reach you. When a woman is silently suffering, she doesn't always walk away. Sometimes She just pulls her heart back. You'll notice she stops sharing her inner world, stops asking deeper questions, stops trying to truly connect. And here's the heartbreaking part. She's still physically present because part of her is holding on, but emotionally she's already halfway gone. As a psychologist, I can tell you, emotional detachment often comes before physical distance. And if you wait until she actually leaves, it may already be too late. Sign 6. She supports you more than herself. She's always there for you, cheering you on, listening to your struggles, reminding you of your worth when you forget. But when was the last time someone asked, who's supporting her? When a woman is silently suffering, she often hides behind care. She gives more love than she receives, not because she's fine, but because it's the only way she knows how to stay connected. She might tell herself, if I just keep loving him, maybe he'll notice me again. It's self-sacrifice in disguise, a quiet way of saying, don't forget me, I'm still here. But emotionally, it's draining her, because love without return slowly becomes pain wrapped in devotion. Sign 7. She remembers everything you forgot. She recalls the little things, the date you first met, the song you once said you loved, the quiet promise you made when no one was listening. But you've forgotten. This is not just memory. It's emotional holding on. When a woman silently suffers, these forgotten details become her anchors. They're proof that she's still invested, still believes in the us you once dreamed of. But every time you forget, it stings like a small betrayal. A reminder that while she's carrying the past, you might be moving on. And that quiet ache, it's the slow erosion of hope. Sign 8. Sudden emotional numbness. She used to feel everything deeply, the highs, the lows, the hopes, the fears. But now there's a numbness, an emotional flatline. This isn't apathy, it's a defense mechanism. When pain becomes too overwhelming, the mind sometimes shuts down feelings to protect itself. This emotional numbness is a silent scream, a sign she's been hurting for so long that her heart has learned to turn off the pain. Psychologically, this can be a red flag. A woman who feels nothing on the surface may be suffering deeply underneath. It's the quiet aftermath of unspoken grief and unmet emotional needs. Sign 9. She talks about leaving without leaving. You might hear her say things like, maybe you'd be better off without me, or sometimes I wonder if disappearing is easier. These aren't just offhand remarks or passive-aggressive comments. They're mental rehearsals of escape. When a woman is silently suffering, her mind searches for relief, even if that relief seems impossible. Talking about leaving without actually leaving is her way of testing the waters, seeing if you notice the cracks. It's a cry for attention and care, masked in despair. Ignoring these signs risks losing her completely, because sometimes the silence before the goodbye is louder than any argument. Sign 10. She silently cries after you leave. When you're together, she holds it all in. The tears, the pain, the heartbreak. But the moment you walk away, the walls crumble. Behind closed doors, she lets the silent tears fall. Tears she didn't want you to see. This is the deepest form of silent suffering. A woman who cries alone after you leave isn't weak. She's protecting herself from being vulnerable in front of you. Psychologists call this emotional containment, holding back feelings to avoid conflict or rejection. But those tears speak volumes. They tell a story of love, loss, and a heart quietly breaking in the shadows. Silent suffering is one of the most heartbreaking experiences in any relationship. When a woman hurts quietly, it means she still cares, deeply, but pain kept in the dark grows heavier every day. If you recognize these signs in someone you love, don't turn away. Start a real conversation. Ask her how she feels and truly listen, because sometimes the greatest gift you can give isn't a grand gesture, but the courage to be present when she's ready to speak. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the silent language of love and pain. Remember, understanding is the first step toward healing.